To my fellow mayors, I do actually urge them to work together, because when working together, we can go far beyond where we can get on our own. So we have to create relationships that last in time.
Today I'm in Seville, Spain, with Fatiha El Moudni, who is the mayor of Rabat, but it's also the president of our association, Metropolis. Mayor, thanks so much for being with us today. This is a conversation about cities, a global conversation about cities, and I want to start with a problem that every city is facing, but especially big cities, which is in a time of uncertainty and a time of climate change and changing global environments. Cities are trying to do three things at the same time. They're trying to become sustainable, they're trying to become resilient, and they're trying to leave no one behind. They're trying to be inclusive. And I know your own city, Rabat, has made important progress, which has been internationally recognized, including by UN Habitat. How can cities do this? And are there any learnings from Rabat that you can bring to other cities?
I have to say that balancing resilience, sustainability, and inclusivity is a really big complex, especially for cities with limited resources. And actually, Rabat's experience has shown that these goals all together, when they are tackled holistically, they can enhance each other. The integrated program launched by His Majesty the King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, which is called Rabat City of Light, Moroccan Capital of Culture, is concrete proof of that. And I have to say that for several years now, Rabat has been committed to improving the quality of life for its residents by either improving green spaces or preserving them, and at the same time promoting ecological sustainability and reusing or using treated wastewater for irrigation, for instance. We've been also working or enhancing access to social services, especially for women, children, and youth, and this is by investing in cultural and sports facilities. I have to say that we cannot leave anybody behind, so Rabat prioritized all the marginalized groups and enhances the participation of citizens in all decision-making bodies so that we can make sure that everybody's voice is heard.
One concrete example of this challenge is mobility, which is one of the topics that every big city has to face, right? I know in Rabat you've been talking and thinking a lot more about electric mobility as one of the important steps towards sustainability. Also other steps like public transport and others. And I'd like to hear from you, how have you been thinking about this transition towards electric mobility and the role of international cooperation? How has a city like Rabat, the capital of the kingdom, and an open modern city, been looking internationally for sources of support and cooperation that can facilitate this transition to a more sustainable mobility?
We have to say in Rabat that clean mobility is a top priority for us. We've made really great strides in ecological and in transition into sustainable transport. With our electric buses network and eco-friendly tramway, we have worked into creating jobs and at the same time cutting emissions. This is something we have experienced thanks to the cooperation and collaboration with international organizations. The electric buses, for instance, is the outcome of a collaboration with a Korean organization, Quika, for instance, through Metropolis and the UCLG, among other international organizations and networks. We can learn from other cities and we can share our experience. We do learn from the best practices, but we have to adapt them to our local context.
There is in your career and in your own example a proof that you are committed to opening new spaces of leadership and decision making in business and in public administration to women, something that Metropolis has been committed to for a long time. What are the policies, what are the measures that can facilitate the access of women to these positions of power, of decision making, especially in local administration?
It's a great honor and a lot of responsibility for me to be mayor of Rabat and president of Metropolis. This shows that women in leadership roles have to be included in decision-making bodies and institutions. And that makes life easier for residents because it takes into account women's needs. In Rabat, we have created many projects and initiatives like the Rabat Women Entrepreneurs, which is encouraging entrepreneurship for women so that we can help them get into leadership roles. We had partnerships with UN Women in Rabat, and it's about safe city. This helped us to redesign our public spaces and at the same time take into account safety and security features like lighting, for instance. Another example of economic empowerment is the creation of cooperatives for women, and this is all about encouraging them in all fields related to renewable energy, recycling, and so on. And this is not just about helping them economically, but it's also about creating a pipeline for future leaders in sustainability.
As an African and Arab woman, what is your message to African and Arab girls that when they, as the mayor of Rabat, the mayor of the capital of the Kingdom of Morocco, what would you say to a 12-year-old, 14-year-old girl in Africa or in any other Arab country?
I would say that they have to work through their goals, keep them in mind, and go straight forward. Try to get into networks that empower women so that they can be supported. They have to believe in their dreams because dreams come true. And I have to say that today being mayor of Rabat and president of Metropolis would be a little girl's dream. But today we're seeing it as a reality. They have to get involved with social life, with business life, and to do their best to get their voices heard through networks, international networks and global bodies.
Excellent, very inspiring. You come from a city that, with you, but also previously, has been very active in city diplomacy, in international multilateral environments for cities and local governments. Obviously, this is important for Rabat. Rabat has been present and active. From that position, of course, the best proof is that you're now president of Metropolis, the network of the world's largest cities. And I'd like to ask you two things. First of all is, what do you say to your peers, to other mayors that should also be encouraged to be more active? Why should they be part of the network of big cities like Metropolis? And my other question is also, what do you want your legacy to be as the president of the network that brings together the biggest cities in the world?
Thank you for this pertinent question. To my fellow mayors, I have to say they have to get involved, as I say, in Metropolis. I do actually urge them to work together because when working together, we can go far beyond where we can get on our own. So we have to create relationships that last in time, and we have to keep on sharing our best practices, our experiences. And this is something I have learned from being a member of UCLG and Metropolis. When we do think globally and act locally, we have really a big impact or a great impact on our population, and citizens can feel that there is a change and that we do create hope for a resilient, sustainable and inclusive future.
Very good. Thanks so much. And of course, you have a partner in Metropolis for this very exciting and inspiring agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much.